Dear learners, today let's see about the secure transaction over Internet. Introduction. The Internet has opened up many possibilities for people to communicate, get to know each other better no matter where in the world they live, and also open doors for businesses to reach new markets, creating opportunities for economic growth. E-commerce has grown at a phenomenal rate, with payments made essentially by debit or credit cards, with an increasing concern related to the security of the payment systems used to process online transactions. The learning objectives are: by the end of this module, we will be able to elaborate the history of Internet security, what is e-commerce security and its basics, know about the security measures and security protocols, have in-depth knowledge about secure electronic transaction and its components, be aware of the steps to ensure online security, understand the concept of computer monitoring. Now, let us see the brief history of Internet security. When businesses began using computers more than half decade ago, security was accomplished by using physical controls over access to the computers like alarm doors and windows. Guards and surveillance cameras were the tools used to secure computers. Computer security in the beginning dealt with a few people who had access to terminals or physical access to the computer room. Example: computer technicians ran programs by submitting decks of punched cards that were fed into card readers, which translated the punched holes in the cards into electrical impulses that were processed by the computer. Security was fairly a simple matter. Due to the rapid increase in the population of computer users and the methods to access computing resources, millions of people now have access over networks that connect millions of computers to each other. But now it is very hard to determine who is using the computing resource. New security tools and methods have been proposed to protect computers, the valuable information transferred, and the electronic assets they store, such as electronic receipts, payment data, and order confirmations, has extremely increased the need for security and new automatic methods to deal with security threats. E-commerce security. The term e-commerce security refers to the principles which navigate safe electronic transactions, permitting the buying and selling of goods and services through the Internet, but with protocols in place to provide safety. A successful business carried online highly depends on the customer's trust that the company has e-commerce security basics in place. The following form the basis of security. Privacy. One of the fundamental e-commerce security basics is privacy, which is defined as the denial of sharing information with unauthorized parties. When shopping online, personal details or account information should not be accessible to anyone except the merchant chosen to share it with, and if the merchant reveals any personal information, it would be a breach of confidentiality. The businesses online is responsible to provide at least the minimum encryption, virus protection, and firewall so that the account details and credit card information remain inaccessible. Integrity. Integrity is a crucial concept that none of the information shared online by the patron will be altered in any way. A secure transaction involves the data the business use, exactly what was entered into the website by the customer without any tampering of information, breaking the confidence of the customer in the security of the transaction, and the integrity of the company. In general, for a business to be successful, both seller and buyer have to be who they say they are. The products must be real for the sale to go through as described online, and the buyer must also provide proof of identification for the seller to feel secure about the sale. Experts are being hired to make sure the security basics are in place, since fraudulent identification and authentication are possible. The term repudiation refers to denial. A worthwhile business depends on both buyers and sellers following through on the part of the transaction which originated with and not denying those actions, since e-commerce happens usually without any live video. Non-repudiation provides protection against denial by one of the entities involved in a communication of having participated in all or part of the communication, prevents either sender or receiver from denying a transmitted message. Hence, when a message is sent, the receiver can prove that the corresponding sender in fact sent the message, and when a message is received, the sender can prove that the corresponding receiver in fact received the message. The security measures to be carried out are encryption. It is one of the simplest ways to safeguard the data being transmitted over the network. The data is encrypted by the sender using a secret key, and only the concerned receiver can decrypt the data using the same or a different secret key. Digital signature. A digital signature is nothing but an e-signature authenticated through encryption and password. The security certificates. Security certificate is referred to a unique digital ID used to verify the identity of an individual user. The security protocols are used for secure transaction. Electronic commerce today is in need of a secure means of transmission of the confidential data essential to perform a transaction. Example, bank prefers to hide credit card numbers from cyber hackers. The security protocols are used over the internet to ensure secured online transactions. The most commonly used security protocols are Secure Hypertext Transfer Protocol (SHTTP), Secured Socket Layer, which is known as SSL, Secure Electronic Transaction, which is abbreviated as SET. Now, let us see what is Secure Hypertext Transfer Protocol. SHTTP is the extension of HTTP Internet Protocol with the security requirements, namely public key encryption, authentication and digital signature over the internet. Secure HTTP provides security to the end users by negotiating encryption scheme types used between the client and the server. SSL was designed by Netscape in 1994 for securing message transmissions in a network using public key encryption to encrypt the transmission of secure messages between the client and server. The client is the Netscape's browser and the server is the Netscape server. SSL is widely used across the industry since it meets the basic security requirements such as authentication, encryption, integrity and non-reputability. HTTP URLs with SSL are written as HTTPS : whereas HTTP URLs without SSL are written as HTTP : Secure Electronic Transaction. Secure electronic transaction is designed to increase buyer and seller confidence in electronic commerce as an innovation to major credit card companies MasterCard and Visa. In 1996, Visa and MasterCard founded SET as a joint venture to promote electronic commerce because the buyer and seller need a secure, reliable payment system. SET offers a high level of security for web-based financial transactions reducing the fear of the buyer to purchase over the web and increase the use of credit cards for electronic shopping. American Express has now joined the venture. SET relies on public key cryptography and digital certificates. The public key cryptography is used to maintain message confidentiality between parties in a financial transaction, and the digital certificates are issued to uniquely identify the parties to a transaction. Now, let us see about the components of SET. The first component is the cardholder's digital wallet software. Digital wallet is the application on the cardholder side, which permits the cardholder to make secure purchases online via point and click interface. The digital wallet software plugin encompasses the consumer's digital certificate, shipping, and other account information protected by a password, which the owner should provide to access the stored data. Simply, an electronic wallet stores the digital representation of a person's credit card and activates the electronic transactions. The next component is the merchant software. The merchant software helps the merchants to be connected with the potential customers and financial institutions in a secure manner. On the merchant side, a merchant server purpose is to accept electronic credit card payments. The next component is the payment gateway server software. The payment gateway enables automatic and standard payment, forming the bridge between SET and the existing payment network. It supports the process for merchant certificate request by translating SET messages for the existing payment system to complete the electronic transaction. The next component is the certificate authority software. The certificate authority software is mainly made use of financial institutions to issue digital certificates to cardholders and merchants, enabling them to register their account agreements for secure e-commerce. In short, the certificate authority's function is to issue and manage digital certificates which form the proof of the identities for all parties involved in a SET transaction. Now, let us see about the roles involved in a transaction. Generally, the transaction in electronic commerce involves the interactions of 4 roles, namely payer. The payer is solely the authorizer of a payment supported by an issuer. The payer refers to the customer or buyer in an electronic commerce scenario. Ordering of payment may be done by any one of the following ways, namely a card, a token, or a certificate. The payee refers to the merchant who provides goods, services, and information. Usually, the payee is simply the vendor, merchant, or a seller in an electronic commerce scenario who receives electronically the payment for something purchased by the payer. The issuer refers to the financial institution that enables issuing of payment cards by using cryptographic technologies, which provides the payer and the payee with instances of monetary value used in the payment protocols to transfer real money between the parties involved in the transaction. The next is the acquirer. The acquirer refers to the financial institution which converts the cryptographic objects involved in the payment to real money on behalf of the payee. Let us see about the steps to ensure secure transaction. The most prevalent method for online payment is still the credit card. Few steps to follow to ensure effectively secure transaction are the following. The use of the latest version of internet browser. The program which allows you to surf the internet is called a browser. The browser is the software which has built-in encryption capabilities that makes the information you send to a server unintelligible to an unauthorized user. Using the latest version of the recent browser ensures that the data is protected by means of the latest encryption technology. Most of the recent technologies use a secure socket layer, the SSL, which is an Internet security protocol used by Internet browsers and web servers to transmit sensitive information. The server which receives the information uses special keys to decrypt it. To ensure that you are on an SSL, one can check the URL, that is the Unified Resource Locator. The beginning of the address should be HTTPS and not HTTP, along with a small lock icon in the status bar at the bottom of the browser window. Next, pay attention to digital certificates, since the digital certificates are the ones which authenticate the entity you are dealing with. Independent services like VeriSign will authenticate the identity of the website you are visiting. Websites that use independent services like will have the VeriSign to go and ensure the authenticity of the website. Just with a click on the logo, we can be assured that the site is legitimate rather than a clone of the legitimate company set up to gather one's personal and account details. Next is to read the privacy policy carefully. The information you share on the website should be kept confidential. Take time to read the company's privacy policy carefully to ensure that the personal data gathered from the user won't be shared with others. Certain services like TrustE review a company's privacy policy for a premium and then permit the company to post the TrustE logo if its privacy policy pertains to certain industry standards for consumer protection. Users on clicking the logo can verify the site identity before they begin to shop or to complete banking transactions. Next is the use of a single credit card. Try to make use of only one credit card for all of your online purchases. This is the way to limit exposure to fraud and theft on all your cards, and if possible, try a prepaid debit card in place of a credit card. Don't share your account related passwords. Don't ever share your passwords or user ID related to account information online unless you know who you are dealing with and the purpose of its need. Don't leak out your password to the internet service provider if you get an email requesting it. The hacker may even make a phone call asking you all details, a recent scam used to access your account and get your credit card number along with whatever other personal information is available. Maintain all records of your internet transactions. Just save a copy of all the transactions you do online and keep an eye on your credit card statement for the charges and make sure they are accurate. Check them with credit card and bank statements monthly and report immediately to the issuer of the card in case of any discrepancy. Check email for confirmation messages. After every purchase made online, the merchants send confirmation emails about your order, so don't delete the confirmation messages you receive for further clarification. Passwords. Always use a hard to guess password that contains upper and lowercase letters, numbers and symbols. Use different username and password for each online account. Keep on changing the passwords as often as possible, at least for every 3 months. Do not share your passwords or user identification information with anyone. Don't click on any link in an email asking for identification information and contact the host by mobile immediately to report the concern. Safe logout. Safe logout of bank, credit card and merchant sites after the transaction is complete. Don't allow your computer or your smartphone to remember passwords for merchants or banking websites. When answering security questions for sites online, use false information that are not related to your personal information and keep track of your answers. Then avoid public Wi-Fi. Don't use public Wi-Fi to do online shopping, payment of bills, access bank or credit card accounts. Shop from home and only over a secured internet connection. Do not use easy pay, payment options or one-click ordering. Take time to enter username and password on a merchant site. It might take few seconds more than but takes months to recover from online credit fraud. Then use of firewalls and antivirus programs. Use the recent and updated version of a strong antivirus firewall safety program, and also ensure your program has the latest information about new scams and hacker tricks. Run virus scans regularly on your system and smartphones. Personal information protection. Avoid posting the real birth dates, address, contact number, etc. on social networking sites such as Facebook, as any information you post online can be hacked and stolen. So, try to keep this information to a minimum. Let us see about email security. If an email, instant message, request to chat seems to be suspicious, close your browser, log out email programs and shut down your computer for a while. When you reboot the system, run a full virus and spyware scan before logging back onto the internet. Let us deal about computer monitoring. Computer monitoring, also known as computer and network surveillance, is defined as the monitoring of computer activity and data stored on a hard drive or data being transferred over computer networks such as the internet. The computer monitoring may be carried by governments, corporations, criminal organizations or individuals. It may or may not be illegal and may or may not require authorization from a court, since it depends on the purpose of monitoring and by whom it is being monitored. Computer and network surveillance programs are widespread that it paves way for all the internet traffic to be monitored. The main purpose of the computer and network surveillance is to allow governments and corporate to maintain social control, recognize threats and investigate criminal activities. In general, computer monitoring involves the use of software to monitor activities, which might include tracking of network activities and security threats, as well as internet usage, data entry, email and other computer use by individual users. Monitoring is done by a person other than the user, and it may be made known to the user or kept confidential. The data captured must be kept confidential and the access must be restricted to information technology personnel who require the information to address system integrity and security issues. Electronic monitoring, logs and other records must be removed on a regular basis, but the statistical information compiled from monitoring data may be retained provided it has the aggregate information and addresses system integrity and security issues. Legal monitoring should not be implemented without the consent of the court's Chief Justice. A corporate's important component of prevention of unwanted activities is establishing the business purposes of monitoring, which may include the following: Companies can prevent misuse of resources by discouraging unwanted personal activities of employees such as online shopping or web surfing during company time. Used to monitor employee performance. Federal legislation requires organizations to protect personal information which might also determine unlawful appropriation of personal information and potential scam or viruses. The protections of intellectual property, trade secrets and business strategies is a main concern. Hence, monitoring employee actions plays a significant role in safeguarding the company's assets. Dear learners, let's summarize what we have seen in this module as we have come to the end of the session. Privacy and security are the two major factors that influence the customer's trust in carrying out electronic transaction. Hence, companies, websites, organizations that sell their products or offer services online have to put in more effort to positively influence their customers' perceptions of privacy and security. Computer system security is a worldwide known problem which affects private as well as corporate users of IT. Information technology users should be aware of the security of resources that they are using, and accordingly they should play an active role in protecting their privacy. In biometric runtime, fingerprint is captured for mobile transactions and it cannot be stored in the mobile device, so it provides more security and not stolen by third party. I hope this session is fruitful for you. We will meet in the next session. Thank you.